Hi, welcome back. Okay, in our last videos, we give you a quick snapshot of the recent launch for the 6 projects. And today we're going to dive deeper in to actually see the numbers, what does it really mean for the market, and also for you as a potential buyer, and where will the market head next. So let's break it down and explore it deeper. So let's go back. During the launch, Chuan Park actually sold about 76%. Emerald of Katong sold around 98.7%, which is almost 99%. And then Nava Grove sold at around 63%. Union Square sold around 25%. The Collective at One Sophia sold around 13%. Nova Place, which is an executive condominium, sold around 56%. Now, what's really striking here is the diverse performance across these 6 projects. While some are flying off the shelf, while some have a slower movement. Okay, let's start by looking at the high performance first. The Chuan Park, the EOK, which is Emerald of Katong, and Nava Grove. Okay, for Chuan Park, with 76.3 or 76.7% sold on the launch day, shows a very strong and sustained demand. Basically, especially in that location, it's clear that the buyers are eager for the quality projects in well-established area. Okay, while EOK with an impressive 98.7, which is almost 99%, which we can say almost sold out. All right, it's a clear winner. Here is a point to both strong project offerings and perhaps pent-up demand in the market for this kind of locations, which is close to the MRT. Okay, for Chuan Park, the last launch was over 10 years ago, and EOK, maybe because of the locations and also the pricing is very attractive. That's why it is actually flying off the shelf. And then next, we are looking at Nava Grove, which is sold at 63%, which is still a strong result. It indicates that buyers are being more selective, basically because Nava Grove is not really close to any public transport like the MRT. So generally, people are still very selective, but because of the attractive pricing, the sales is still very good. Okay, next we'll look at Novo, which is an executive condominium. This one was sold at around 56%. Generally because it's targeting at niche market for people who have not owned any property before, and then there is also a bracket of salary or income they cannot exceed. And generally, for most people who want to upgrade from their current HDBs to this EC, they have to pay a levy. So that's why the sales is still around 56, which is actually still a very, very incredible, good result. Now, let's talk about the slow mover, the Collective at One Sophia and also the Union Square. Okay, the Collective at One Sophia sold around 10% to 13% during this last 2 weeks, and Union Square was around 25%. Actually, for Union Square, 25% is pretty healthy because both of these projects is located in Central Core region, which is in District 9 and is actually in town, where most of the time the buyers used to be more foreigner, but because the additional buyer stamp duty, the foreigners not coming in at this moment. So generally what you are seeing is only the Singaporean were buying. So if you are talking about Singaporean buying this property in Central Core region, it is actually still a very healthy take-up. But basically, it still will take a bit of momentum to get into more sales. But we all believe as the projects progresses, okay, the buyers, the unit will still be selling off. But after a certain target unit sold, the developer will start to move the price higher, as we all has seen in all the past projects. So generally, we will talk more into this in our next video. Well, here's the interesting part. While all these projects was launching, there's something else was happening in the market that we shouldn't overlook. Okay, the post-launch projects that was relatively quiet was starting to get very busy before this project was launching. Just days before Emerald of Katong, which is EOK, was launching, we actually saw the surrounding projects like the Continuum and the Tembusu Grand were actually moving the unit spots. Okay, during the weekends when the EOK was launching, okay, Tembusu Grand and Continuum actually moved about 36 units each on that 2 days. But on the whole month, it actually moved 118 units. It's almost like a new launch, moving over 100 units in a month. And in fact, today we are shooting here, we are only halfway through November, and yet they already moved 118 units. So it shows a clear sign of market momentum is picking up. And it doesn't stop there. Chuan Park, which launched a week earlier, also saw some units sold after a quieter week post-launch. It is like a delay ripple effect, where interest from other new launches is spilling over into nearby projects. Before Nava Grove launch, Pine Tree Grove, the project next door, was selling like hotcakes after a long period of no sales. The sudden surge of interest there points to an interesting trend where nearby projects seems to benefit from the buzz created by these new launches. So what does all this mean? Well, it's a clear indication that the market are interconnected. So buyers who have missed out on all these hot launches are looking at projects around it. It's also a sign of pent-up demand. Even though those phases, the sales has been quiet for a while, when the right projects catches attentions, the buyers are ready to move. Some buyers wait for the initial rush to settle down before making their move. And that's when some projects start to see a second wave of activities. So what does it really mean for you, especially if you are thinking of buying? So the market is still very active. And if the project that you have been eyeing doesn't sell out immediately, there is a potential there is a surge in interest when the market shifts. So it is actually knowing when to jump in and when to wait for the right opportunity. Now let's get back to a broader pictures. Are pricings going up? And is the market on the upward trajectory? That is something that we will dive deeper in our next video, where we will break down the price trend and how they are shifting and what opportunity you might still have. Stay tuned, and as always, drop your questions and comment below. I love to hear your thoughts on the market movement. Thank you for watching, and I see you in the next video.